Count us down.
5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh crap! I counted 5, 6, 7, 8. Hello, everybody, and for those who are listening to this, this is actually a bit of a Yahoo Doodad unofficial side quest of sorts. We just wanted to talk. Let's talk. We're going to talk about a little game called Pixelspark. And with a little liquid courage in the both of us, we're actually both playing it right now, and we're going to tell you why you should play. Who is who, though? I'm Tyler Vidito, and of course, for the one and only time, for the first time appearance since the Nintendo E3 appearance, we have Brandon Thresher. Brandon, how's it going? Fantastic. It's in fact just me by myself, and I'm gonna edit myself in a weird, deeper voice.
Responding to yourself?
Responding to myself.
I'm great.
You're great. Oh gosh.
No, I'm doing good.
Are you Tony the Tiger?
It's great.
This game is addicting.
It is, and I don't know why you want to tell people about it because...
Okay, so talking with a particular mod, I won't name names because I'm sure that would actually get into the wrong direction, considering of what happened earlier with a mystery item that was forcibly taken back away from me. We apparently, the server in particular, Pixelspark, which is through Technic Launcher, and we're on the Generations server of the Pixelspark mod.
Goodness.
I know, right? It's quite a word to say. Apparently there's actually a high plateaued amount of donors that keep the server alive, but there's next to nothing for new visitors. Now, you see the people that will pop in quite often, and welcome this to Generations and all that, but at the same time, they don't stay on all that long. They're gone, disappear. And the people that do stay usually end up giving up money, which, with both of us kind of follows a trend of sorts. Considering we are officially proper donators, I can now file my givings to Pixelspark on my taxes.
That's a deductible.
That is now, in fact, a deductible. So, with that being said, I feel like if we got new blood of people who are like even minorly curious, we could totally pull them into the idea of playing Pixelspark. Maybe not with us, but hey, each his own, right?
Be nice to see more welcome to gens.
Of people that aren't like blatantly vicious race. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that because it just sounds like that we're just like this huge cesspool of just shitty people in general. It's like, no, we're not everybody's that bad. As you would expect with any given group of people that involves Pokemon, about 50% of them are completely elitist, for lack of a better way of putting that, because, let's be real.
Pokemon.
Yeah, it's Pokemon. It's like, if you're not doing it this way, then you're doing it clearly wrong, and I must judge you therefore for it. And, again, I want to point out...
running an Eevee into your Evolutions party.
Yes, like running a base Pokemon Eevee in your... Evolutions. That still burns me. So, Brandon, what is Pixelmon in general? Like, I know I've getting the hot pitch for it, but maybe just for the heck of it, maybe we should drop it down to layman's terms. What is Pixelmon? What is Pixelspark?
I mean, simply put, Pixelmon is just Pokemon in Minecraft. They're pixelated, hence the name. But I mean, it's literally right now. I'm mining. I could turn around and find a Golbat or a Diglett behind me.
Yeah, I mean, you say pixelated Pokemon, but most of them are actually pretty well detailed. Like, they stole the models out of the 3DS and they threw it right into the game.
Not to mention, just a couple of days ago, they had upgrades on all of them, too. Yeah,
that is very true. Actually, I think they put something a couple of days ago, and they put something today, technically yesterday.
I didn't even see today.
Yeah, they did that, and they were like, hey, we're going to do a drop party afterwards. That way you don't fucking, yell at us when we beg you to vote for us. So, yes. Sorry, I'm doing a pokey heal to heal myself up over here.
In Pixelspark, it's just simply a server on Pixelmon that hasn't been cease and desist by Nintendo.
Yep. Pixelmon in general has been taken down as a whole by a lot of times by Nintendo is Pokemon is a property that they own. They have every right to protect. And then obviously the people who are trying to put it into a Minecraft server, oddly enough, you never hear it from the Mojang side. And Mojang is like, our hands are clean. This is a mod. We don't have to touch this. Legal team, be free. But at the same time, Nintendo took down most of them, and this one has been standing strong. And apparently it's because they focus on Gen 6, I believe, which is X and Y, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire generation, which means you don't have to worry all that much about anything in Sun and Moon. Now, I say it like that, like it's the Plague or something like that, because let's be real, I love Sun and Moon. A lot of, I miss my Alolan Raichu. I'd love to have that on my team. But at the same time, it's either that or I don't get to play this at all until they release the next core game for the Switch. Hopefully that will, drive them off. Let's be real, probably not. I can dream, right?
I mean, why not, right?
And so it's like, okay, if you can play this on a single player, it'll toss you in the middle of nowhere, and Pokemon will be around you. You might find random computer players that want to fight you and all that stuff, and it might be kind of boring, but it'll give you the basic experience. But it's like, that's Pixelmon. If you want to play by yourself, then you are in for a ride. And this is a very large Blissey. This is a completely side thing that I'm going to hot pitch. Pokemon actually have size modifiers in this game, and you can go anywhere from microscopic to where a normally a 8 foot to 10 foot high Dragonite would be about 1.5 feet tall. Or in my personal experience, when I first discovered this game, and this word Brandon's laughing, I had a Blastoise about, supposed to be about 6 feet tall. It's smaller than my kneecaps. And it was just bewildering. It's like, I saw the squirrel, I was like, oh, I guess, the squirrel's really small, but, this is okay. This is normal, right? And, as it turns out, it was not. It was not right at all. And then I immediately got a humongous Tyrantrum, which is a T-Rex-like Pokemon for those who aren't into the Pokemon world as much. And having a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex appear next to you as a player versus what you see in the game was a thrill. It was just
what a thrill.
We through the darkness and Tyrantrums through the night. But it was hilarious just seeing this giant 15 to 20 foot high Tyrantrum next to you. And then somebody had the courage of telling me, if you right click it, you can ride your certain Pokemon. And before I knew it, and this broke out into like huge amounts of laughter between me and Brandon here, riding a giant dinosaur on a Minecraft server, and just like it was just so ridiculous that it was beautiful.
Pure fantasy fulfillment.
Yes, because I have a small genitalia of sorts. I need to overcompensate it by giant Pokemon. So I went for the biggest. I went for a Wailord. And my God, like when you think of Wailords, especially during the days of Ruby and Sapphire, they look big, but they're not that big. You throw it in Surf, it takes up 1 square just like any other Pokemon. But when you actually compare the true size of Wailord, to the game, it is comically big. Like, this is insanely big as a Pokemon. And so when you get a humongous version of that, and it's so large that it encompasses and sticks its head out of the side of a small house, it's just...
You got to move it to its own conservation society.
Yeah, Brandon and I actually made our own reservation to save, lost and abandoned Wailords that, didn't get mistreated, or, they got mistreated. They got abandoned because they were pygmy versus gigantic. So, we put them in their place, and they live happily, and they're well fed. What's up?
I was going to say real quick, if you want to teleport to me, I'm currently mining and have a few things you can pick up.
Okay, let's see. Brandon and I in this game, and this is another comical thing, we are married. We can marry ourselves and each other in this game. Now, mind you, my wife also played this game, so it's not that I couldn't marry her, but I
just popped the question first.
Yep, Brandon beat her to it, and I'm actually full in stuff too, so I'm gonna have to go back and drop all my loot and I'm gonna clean it back out. And so Brandon and I now share property ownership through most of the stuff, if not all of it. And it leads to a good time to where we can freely just randomly teleport to each other, even though we're trying to do our own devious things. And I there's a lot of things you can do. It's still Minecraft. You can still build a giant house. You can build your giant castle, as I am often want to do. And anybody should do that. If you like a big giant stone tower or dirt, your preference, this is the game for you. It's still Minecraft in every sense of the word. And if you want to be a Pokemon master, then, in the server in particular, you can play up to Gen 6. You still have hundreds upon hundreds of different Pokemon that you can find and hunt throughout the game. Legendaries are everywhere. Mm-hmm. Even today, there's a couple of things about this server. They try to treat you by letting you self-promote the server in particular. And it's like, oh, how nice of you. That's so generous of you to have us try to vote for you on the local websites. And in return, they'll give you things called voter keys. And it's starting to sound a little bit like a gacha game, but I assure you that most of the time, actually all the time, this is totally a game that you could play permanently for free for the rest of your life, no regrets. Obviously, there's perks by donating and all that stuff, but it's...
Pokeheel.
I want to say it's mostly trivial. Like, it's like, oh no, you're going to save myself 10 seconds out of, every 10, 15 minutes. Oh no, what am I going to do with myself? And I already totally lost where I was going with this.
Brandon, you're talking about voter keys and legendaries.
Yes. So they got multiple chests you can get if voting, doing daily rewards for showing up and all that stuff. And I put in a voter key into the voter chest, and it gave me a legendary key. Now there's voter key or voter chest, legendary chest, mythic chest, Ura chest, and then there's a destiny chest, which to this day I still have no idea how to activate that, or if I really want to. I'm pretty sure I do though. So I opened up a legendary chest with this legendary key I got, and I got a Kyurem. And that was just bewildering. Just the idea that, most people getting how to explain like the concept of how rare it is. 95% of the time, you put something in a legendary chest, you'll get like a shiny Pidgey if you're lucky, or a Goldeen in Brandon's case. And every half hour, there is a 20% chance of a single legendary spawning out in the middle of nowhere. And you have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah, and quite frankly, I've never seen a actual legendary in the wild. I've encountered what they call boss Pokemon, which is an interesting concept where wild mega evolved Pokemon will roam the wild, and up until level 120, I believe, you can fight them, and then you can, if you defeat them, you will get the mega evolved form. For example, defeating a Gengar that's mega evolved in the wild will give you a Gengar ray. And that is nice. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so getting this Kyurem was a magical moment for me. Somebody else who was in a similar boat. He loves to collect legendaries. He wanted to get that. He wants to get Zekrom. He wants to combine and make, that was his dream Pokemon during his days when he played Black and White. Sorry. By the way, white version is better. That wasn't a Freudian slip. Actually, it probably was. So
I don't remember which version I played.
I didn't play. Actually, I played one or the other. I don't remember which one either. So black or white, who cares? Yep, you play it, you're happy.
But we know that Moon's better anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. That checks out. And so this person, wanted the Pokemon so badly, and it's like there's a concept of money. There's currency in this game, and
Pokecoins.
Yeah, you got Pokecoins. So you got Minecraft where you can build and do your own house. You got Pokemon where you can travel across the world and collect Pokemon. There's shops and whatnot, but then it's like the concept of money. And it's like, okay, money's in Minecraft. How the hell do you get money in this game? And it's like the number one way of making money. And this is actually a double combination of both Minecraft and Pokemon. And it's really grindy. So it's totally up my territory, admittedly. Going to it's / warp mines. They got a section where mines are split in like 6 different things. Like if you want wood and you want a shit ton of wood, there is a wood mine. It's just this giant 64 by 64 cube or something like that. Not that big, but it's still pretty big, of just pure wood pieces you can just axe, and it's right there. You don't have to go hunting for it. And same thing is for ore and whatnot. And amongst
which is what I'm doing.
Which is what Brandon's doing right now. Amongst the ore is little black indented circles on these certain cubes that are fossil orbs. Or not orbs, cubes. And fossil, digging that up will give you fossils. And for those who are, worthy of understanding not worthy, who are savvy, there we go. And you are not worthy to understand the concept of fossils. but they get fossils. You identify them, and then you spend that moolah, or not. I'm sorry, I'm losing track here. You take that, you have it identified, and suddenly it's like, oh, this is the fossil that turns into a Kabuto. And so you put that into an incubator. After about 5 minutes, you can turn that into an actual Pokemon. You slap a Pokeball on it, and there you go. And it's like, well, Tyler, just because you get a Kabuto doesn't mean you get money. It's like, how the hell does that, where's that concept come in? And this is where things get a little dark. Now, for those who played gacha games, it's not as similar of a concept, but instead of beefing up your Pokemon by feeding them, I don't even know where the hell I'm going with this. Long story short, you can sell Pokemon. You can Team Rocket your Pokemon. Any Pokemon you get, find out in the wild. Each Pokeball costs $10 or 10 Pokebucks, which is ridiculously cheap in aspect. And you can take your average Pokemon, which is usually worth around 300. So let's say $30 for 3 Pokeballs to try to catch a Pokemon, sell it for 300. Suddenly you make you make 270 right there. But in the case of fossils, since you only have to spend 1 Pokeball every single time and get the process up, and you can sell it up to $450 a piece. Suddenly you're making bank. You do that. Not to mention, sorry. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Just say not to mention a pickaxe with fortune on it too.
Yes, the concept of, if you played Minecraft, you understand that fortune is an enchantment on a pickaxe. You throw that on the fossil, instead of just getting 1, you have a chance of getting like 2 to 4, and that is nice. Oh, gosh. And so you do that. You can also do other stuff, such as you'll get evolutionary stones. There's a whole mine dedicated to fire stones and all those other stones. You can make armor out of those stones. And in this case, Brandon has actually taught me that you can take thunderstones, build it into armor, which makes you faster at mining and running, and it's comical. And so
it's the only good armor.
You were sweet talking the moonstone a little bit there, where you can see in the dark for a little bit.
Well, that's just the pickaxe.
Oh, okay, fair enough. There are no Minecraft enemies in this game. Like, you don't have to ever worry about creepers or anything. Like, your worst nightmare is a haunter that's gonna camp out your place until you defeat it. Yeah, you're just sitting there trying to build your house and only see your haunter. And it's like, oh, come on, please. You're like, I ain't leaving, sucker. You better pay me or kill me. And it's like, I don't got any money. I know where this goes. And so we got that. One of my favorite ones in the beginning, because it's like, okay, you get fossils, you sell money and all this stuff, but that's a slow and tedious process. What is the big way that people, make money? And I think back in the day, it used to be breeding. I like, to this day, this server, I would say it's probably at maybe 30% of what it was its glorious days back in the time. If that. And because of that, the economy is in a bit of a slump. It's kind of like modern day America, except a whole lot worse, because if somebody at the shop is trying to sell their bread for $2 and the police come in and say, you must sell your bread for $5, no less, $5 to $7. Otherwise we'll ban you from existence.
Speaking of which.
Yeah. Anyways, so you can breed Pokemon. If you catch 2 Pokemon, obviously the opposite gender or whatnot, and you want to slap them into what is called the Poke Ranch, which is essentially a 9x9 block where the music starts playing, the candle starts being lit, and all of a sudden, you hear the funny music, and before you know it, one Dratini loves another, and after about 45, 50 minutes, an egg appears. It's like, okay.
You don't know where it came from.
Yeah, it's like, that's weird. That's weird. And so suddenly you got a Dratini egg, and it's like, okay, what do I do with this? And it's like, well, no, it's like any other Pokemon game. You walk around and you hatch a Dratini egg. And so you hatch this egg, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, cool. Now, mind you, there are, again, as I pointed out in the very beginning, a large amount of people in this game are heavy wild elitists. They gotta have the best. For those who don't know what I talk about when I see EV training, IV training, all that stuff, what is battle prepared or BP, what is hidden ability, this might not be the territory that you want to venture in when it gets this far, but you just got to understand that it exists, and because of that, there are actually people out there that are willing to pay pretty pennies for the Pokemon that meet the right requirements. And so before I knew it, I was able to breed a Dratini that had a 31 IV and everything except for a special attack, because it doesn't need to use that unless you're Lance and Pokemon Red and Blue and you know Blizzard for some reason, and you're a dumbass. But that's besides the point. I'm not trash talking Lance just yet. I'll save that for a different podcast.
He is a loser, so.
He is a bit of a loser. And honestly, he's a fucking idiot. Why would you put a Dragonair when you have 2 Dragonites already, just put a 3rd Dragonite. Just evolve it a little bit. Jesus, control yourself.
He hasn't had time.
Yeah, he had all that time. Like, I think the average time to beat Pokemon Blue and Red is like 5 hours if you rush it and using bullshit mechanics. So he has 5 hours to level up, the 3 levels it needs to get to Dragonite. So make the argument if you want, Brandon. I'll fight you. And so you got Dratini. Before you know it, after a very long time of breeding, no, I'm not, because I'm skipping the part where I sit there and do this for like 20 hours because I'm a tool and a fool and all those other things in between. And it's got all the 31s and the IVs. I don't need the EV trainer. That's for some other sucker to do if they actually want it. There is another system in this game on Pixelmon, a Minecraft game for Pokemon called GTS. Mm-hmm. You can actually put up Pokemon on the GTS and try to convince other dummies to buy it. And you can only put up 3 at a time. And it's interesting. It's a good concept. There are times where I'll put items up and all of a sudden it's like I'll make money instantly just because of how badly people want it. And there's other times, for example, if I put a perfect Dratini on, that everybody and their mothers and the mother's dog also has a Dratini that's bred perfectly. Since this server's been up for a very long time, from what I can tell. Ooh, I'm sorry. Throat's getting kind of ticklish here. Jeez.
It's all right. You've been talking for a while.
Well, I know. You can interject. I wanted to get away.
I've been trying to color commentate.
And so you try to put it on the GTS, and they have a / price list where it's like you have to sell this Pokemon at this thing, and like the souped up Dratini that's at that that fine sweet spot is worth between 55 and 65,000, and if you put it at 49,000, they will murder you. And it does not end well. It does not end well at all.
You're ruining the market.
Yes, they'll say that you'll ruin the economy. It's vicious. It's not pretty. No one will buy your Dratini, and therefore it's your fault if you try to sell it for cheaper to make actual profit. And before you know it, you'll actually start tossing your Dratinis into Wonder Trade, which is actually a very fun thing I love doing. Ironically enough,
my Eevees into it.
They yell at me for trying to sell Pokemon for dirt cheap, but versus just throwing it completely free into the Wonder Trade and trying to get an extra other Pokemon. But that's just my opinion. Brandon, what would you say would be your favorite thing about this?
About Pixelmon?
Yeah.
I really like the Wonder Trade.
I know you're a big fan of the gambling concept.
Yeah.
The idea of because you can sell your voter keys and your legendary keys if you really wanted to. And
I don't.
Will buy it. They made some money back in the day. They don't know what to do with it. And I was doing that too. I was selling my keys, but then I discovered after getting that Kyurem and then selling it for 130-something thousand buckaroos. And
keys are important, man.
Keys are very important. It's a loot box essentially.
And I've always loved my gacha games.
The nice thing about this loot box is, as far as I'm aware, and please don't tell me otherwise, you can't actually spend real money to get that. And so as long as I can't actually give them $10 to have them give me 10 voter keys, and I'm sure Brandon's going to look it up and try to figure it out soon.
Oh, I already know you can, but it's not voter keys.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. So anyways.
Yeah, I have a limit of what I want to spend on every game. I've spent my limit. This game has brought me entertainment for the past, months now?
Somewhere along that.
So, I don't mind dropping, what I dropped $7 on it, but...
500, Brandon? Come on, control yourself. What are you doing here?
I don't have the Sun and Moon.
That's another thing. If you donate money to this, they'll give you a little status like, if you want the pro status, give us, $10?
Yeah.
It's like, if you want Ace, give us $25. And then there's some people out there that have either the Sun or Moon status, which is the latest game. Even though they had the rollback on that generation completely, they still kept the money portion of it up. Interesting. And it's like, how do you get Sun and Moon? And under normal circumstances, it's motherfucking was $500
per Sun or Moon.
And it's like, why? If you wanted both, then please, you're hurting yourself. Don't do this to yourself. Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's people who can drop $1,000 on something like that. I'm not one of them.
Let's say there are fantastic, wonderful people out there known as land whales that do exactly that, and it's rough, man. But I built this big, beautiful house. Brandon and I here have built a gym. Now, there are actually real-life gyms in this game, in the server. It's not your standard gyms. It's, whoever made that gym first is back in the heyday. And then it's pretty much every gym is run by up to 10 people apiece. So there are 10 gym leaders per gyms you can challenge to try to get the 8 badges. There isn't an Elite Four yet. There's been talk about it, but it hasn't gotten that far yet. And there obviously are a bunch of rules, like you can't throw, 6 level 100 Mewtwo's and try to take on the level 20 bug gym. That's slightly frowned upon. And Brandon and I, because we love to have our power fantasies and whatnot, like the idea of building our own gym. And so Brandon and I built our own gyms with the help of Amanda. Amanda's been not really helping on the competitive side, but that's okay, because every time she plays me, she hates herself every time she loses, and that ends her gameplay, and I won't do that just yet to her.
Wait, isn't that what you're planning on doing with you and me?
Maybe, but that's besides the point. So Brandon, as a, in quotes, gym leader, end quote, you are going to focus on a certain type of team. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. It's evolutions.
Yeah, Brandon's going to do the evolutions team. Now, what evolutions are you going to have on your team?
I have Flareon, Jolteon, Leafeon, Glaceon, and Vaporeon.
I think I only counted 5 there, Brandon.
You did.
Oh. Your 6th one?
As was mentioned earlier, I can't let down my boy Eevee. So I do have Eevee on my team as well. Brandon
thought it would be a great idea as a gym leader who could potentially take on dozens upon dozens of challengers. In order to give them the biggest fight for the money to represent the Eevee nation, he's going to have a motherfucking normal type Eevee on his team. And it is so frustrating. But that's okay. It means I'll have to pick up the slack. And I myself, right now, I'm doing what is I call variety, which essentially is, oh, look at me, I'm Gary from the gym in Silver and Gold. I have a variety team. Woohoo. And of course, it's headed mostly by Scizor being my favorite Pokemon. I did not put, not Jolteon, Raichu on my team because even though that is one of my favorite Pokemon, competitively, it's just, it's not there. It's not there.
A little too lackluster for you.
The only place on the battlefield Jolteon should be, oh man, I keep saying Jolteon. Is that a Freudian slip at that point? 3 times, it's not a mistake. The only place Raichu should be in the battlefield is the battle that is my heart. And it's constantly fighting and winning my heart, and it will stay there for all eternity. But yes, we got this giant 64 block by 64 block gem that is decorated to the nines. Brandon has built a giant pixel art of Eevee with Zigzagoon at the top, as well as a small art collection showing each of the evolutions in the corner. Amanda decided to do a wall of the gym dedicated to pixel art for a bunch of fire types, including Moltres, Finnegan, which I didn't even know she played. Did she? Isn't Finnegan X and Y?
Yes.
I don't think she played that. She must have just put it on because she hasn't gotten to half these characters, but I'm sure she knows and likes them. Finnegan, Charmander, Cyndaquil, Growlithe, Ninetales, and Ponyta in the corner. And at the very top, she put into all caps, Feel the Burn, which I believe her leading Pokemon is Gonorrhea, so it should do the right damage. And of course, on my side, I have a Mega Evolved Scizor pixel art on the wall, just hanging and looking majestic and all that stuff, trying to feel badass and all that. And this place is dedicated with loads of diamond blocks, emerald blocks, gold blocks, and all that because there is a small amount of rarity to these items still, even though like diamond blocks were like my bread and butter of wealth back in the day. And even though you can get them a little bit more easier, it's not like infinite easier. So there's still a certain amount of value to them. And I like to put them anywhere I can. And so we got a miniature gym running. There is competitions that happen every Saturday for those who actually want to play competitively. And if you ever want to risk and try to get sweaty and face off against the people that are like sweat lords of Pokemon, because God forbid, if there is a Anything Goes tournament that you're sitting around and somebody wants to play a match with you, they get very upset with you if you pull out a legendary on them. It's like, I said no legendaries. This is Anything Goes tournament. No, I said no legendaries. You can't play legendaries here. That's disgusting. Which,
how dare you?
I actually really agree on that. I'm not a big fan of using legendaries, but I didn't have a team fully built. I still don't. And so these people are trying to freaking hoop me into this. And so I grabbed the nearest other Pokemon I could that could have been competitive, Caldeo. And Caldeo did not get the representation that I was hoping you'd get because people were hating on it. Even though, like, halfway through the match, there was 2 gigantic-sized primal Groudons, which were about 30 feet tall apiece, taking over the entire battlefield in size alone, just duking it out with each other. It's like, okay, sure, fine, we can play this game. So I'm trying to think. Hatching, breeding, buying, selling Pokemon. You can do battling. You can sure hell build.
Fossiling.
Because in hindsight, when you think about it, there isn't all that much to do with in terms of activities, but at the same time, the limited amount of activities has been so diverse and time consuming that we haven't really had a chance to say, like, actually this is getting kind of boring. I think we might be hitting that point somewhat soon. Like I said, once I defeat Brandon and hand-to-hand combat with Pokemon, and then build this giant railroad system around the gym until, or we can find a bunch of Loudreds which drop TNT and we just try to grief the whole damn server, which I would never suggest that we do, just in case Pixelspark.
Do they really?
Yeah, you can totally get gunpowder from Loudreds. And they oh boy, Brandon is scheming over there.
Does TNT work on this server?
TNT does in fact work on the server. Asked them for permission, and they said it's okay as long as you don't crash the server. So it'd be frowned upon if you decided. Oh boy, Brandon's getting that look in his eyes.
You don't say.
I know, right? Brandon and I have always been the trolling type when things get kind of boring. And most notably, if we spend more than 20 minutes trying to figure out what to do and realize we don't know what to do in a Minecraft server, it usually devolves into TNT or, in Tekkit case, nukes. So take that for what you will. So I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else you want to talk about or cover? Because I know it was mostly me talking, but...
No, that's fine. I'll let you take the reins. You talk as much as you want. The only thing I wanted to mention was if people did want to play with us, just to shoot us an invite or, a message. I mean, that's what I meant.
Absolutely. I will send a link with the show description here if this actually gets out, and I, remembered to do this, about how to get to Pixel, or how to get the Technical Launcher, how to get to Pixelspark, and then, or, Pixelmon / Pixelmon is the mod, Pixelspark is the server that runs the mod, and then we'll try to run your way into Generations to where, hey, you don't have to be necessarily alone. You can have fun. And,
I'm always down for playing for more people, so I can beat them with my Eevee.
Very specifically, we're vulgar ruffians and all that stuff, but this place is 100% family friendly. Like, you try to say the word hell, and they will threaten to kick you. It's
there'll be no hex and fricks on my server.
This is the finest of Christian servers that you can possibly find when it comes to Pixelmon. Oh man!
I mean, obviously, if somebody's trying to look for a Christian podcast, this is not it.
I do believe that you're right. We may be far from it. Like on the spectrum of going to heaven and going to hell with this podcast. I mean, this might be an AC/DC song at this point. Highway to Hell. Ooh. Anyways,
Stairway to Heaven.
Or Stairway to Heaven. Ooh, that'd be another good one. Okay, maybe this is heaven. I don't know. I'm not really the religious type, so I really shouldn't throw it in any direction. In case we lose all the 3 listeners on this little moment here.
Oh, you didn't look over? We've actually got like 32 people watching.
Yeah, oh boy. So much for a private video. But anyways, my name is Tyler again. That was Brandon. If you do make the jump, somehow manage to find the Pine Voyage, I'm on there at 2 times Tyler, all letters, one word, and he is Zigzagoon. Spelled a little bit different than your average Pokemon, a little bit better, a little bit cooler. A reference to League of Legends, good for you. And of course, if you want to check out more of my work, I'm on Twitter at 2 times Tyler, and through the podcast, of course, at Casual Master Quest. Sorry, at Master Quest Pod. Because apparently I couldn't fit Casual Master Quest in one word. It was forbidden by Twitter. It was very unfortunate.
Damn you, Twitter.
Damn you, Twitter. Now I'm going to tweet from my my Pokemon Minecraft gym. That's how I'm going to do it from now on. I'll show them what's up. Anyways, I think that's it. I'm going to wrap it up here. Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody. And don't forget to never stop the grind. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.